Lucy has some crazy development and traits in the Fallout series, but what exactly would her special stats be? From her charisma and agility to her insane luck, we're about to break it down. In Fallout, every character can be distilled down to 7 core traits, and the games treat them like the genetic blueprint of a build. Those traits are called special, standing for strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. In the games, these numbers quietly decide what a character excels at, what they struggle with, what kind of choices they can talk their way into, and what kind of danger they can survive when talking fails. The Fallout TV show obviously isn't a game, but it was made by people who understand the language of Fallout, so it keeps dropping little hints that the same logic still applies, even when nobody's staring at a stat screen. That's why Lucy McLean is so fun to break down as a character. She starts the show as a vault dweller who's basically trained her whole life for the surface, but not for the real, violent, dirty, unpredictable wasteland that actually exists above ground. She's capable, educated, prepared in a vault sort of way, and she has a strong moral center. Then the world hits her in the face, again and again, and she adapts fast. If Fallout characters were real people, Lucy would be the kind of person who looks average on paper, but keeps surviving because her strengths are in the right places, and she learns quicker than the wasteland expects. Bethesda made the Lucy conversation a lot easier by adding the show's main characters into Fallout Shelter and giving them official special numbers. Lucy's stats, as shown there, are Strength 4, Perception 7, Endurance 6, Charisma 5, Intelligence 6, Agility 5, and Luck 7. It's a clean, balanced spread that perfectly signifies her starting protagonist role, someone who's not a superhero yet, but has the tools to become one. It also tells a story about who she is at the start of her journey, and what parts of her personality the Wasteland is going to test first. We'll start with a closer look at Strength at 4, because that number sets the tone for Lucy in the most basic, physical way. Fallout Strength is about raw muscle, melee power, carrying capacity, and in a broader sense, how naturally comfortable someone is solving problems with force. Lucy's not built like a warrior, and the show rarely frames her as someone who dominates a fight by overpowering the other person. She can be brave, she can be stubborn, she can keep moving when she's exhausted, but she isn't the character who walks into a room and makes everyone step back just from body language or muscles. A level 4 in strength fits a vault upbringing too, because the vault life can teach fitness and training, but it doesn't create a wasteland brawler. It creates someone who is disciplined and educated, not someone who has been hauling scrap across deserts since childhood. That lower strength stat also matches how Lucy tends to approach danger. When things go bad, her instincts are usually to solve the problem with a tool, a plan, a quick choice, or a firearm, not with her fists. Even when she gets dragged into brutal situations, she isn't presented as someone who suddenly becomes a melee powerhouse. Instead, she survives by staying alert, thinking on her feet, and pushing forward even when she's hurt. In Fallout terms, she's not spec'd into smashing heads with a sledgehammer. She's spec'd into noticing threats early and keeping enough stamina to outlast the disaster. Perception at 7 is one of the big levels, and it explains why Lucy can look out of place and still stay alive. Perception in Fallout is about awareness, aim, and the ability to spot details before they become lethal. A character with high perception tends to notice the trap, see the ambush, pick up the clue, or land the shot that matters. Lucy gets introduced as someone who has riflery as part of her vault life, and that detail isn't just a piece of background lore. The show is quietly telling you she has trained her eyes and hands to work together under pressure. When the wasteland is such a place of utter chaos, the person who sees the danger half a second sooner is the person who still has a head on their neck half a second later. That perception also fits Lucy's general mindset. She's curious, she watches people closely, and she keeps scanning her surroundings like someone who's trying to learn a brand new world in real time. She walks into new places that are confusing and hostile, and instead of shutting down, she collects information. That's showing perception as a personality trait, not just an aiming stat for gunfights. She's constantly doing the mental work of understanding what kind of room she's in, what kind of person she's talking to, and what the real rules are. Level 7 says she's better than average at that, even if she's still naive about what she's seeing. Endurance at 6 might be the most underrated part of Lucy's sheet, because endurance is the stat that turns "this would kill a normal person" into "this is going to be a horrible day." but it's survivable. In Fallout, endurance influences health, resistance, and how well someone holds up against long stretches of pain, radiation, dehydration, and general wasteland misery. Lucy's season is full of moments where her body takes punishment, and she keeps moving. She survives injuries that would end most people immediately. She pushes through sickness and shock. She keeps functioning when she should be broken. And the key thing is, Lucy's endurance is not presented like a miracle sent from the heavens. It's presented like a stubborn, human sort of toughness. The indomitable human spirit, in a way. She bleeds, she panics, she gets overwhelmed, but she doesn't quit and run back home. And that's exactly what a level 6 in endurance feels like. It's not the ghoul shrugging off damage like a walking nightmare. It's a person who's tougher than expected, tougher than her sheltered background suggests, and tougher than the wasteland wants to admit, but still not overpowered. It's also the stat that makes her transformation believable, because becoming a wasteland survivor isn't only about learning to shoot or learning new rules. It's also about your body lasting long enough for your mind to adapt. Charisma being placed at level 5 is almost funny, because Lucy can seem extremely friendly. And yet, friendly isn't the same thing as effective in Fallout's social structure. Charisma in the games is all about persuasion, presence, and the ability to steer people emotionally. A level 5 is extremely average, and that fits a Vault Dweller perfectly. Lucy knows how to speak politely, how to present herself, and how to follow social expectations inside a controlled community. She can communicate, she can connect, she can even charm people in a sincere way. But she doesn't automatically understand wasteland social games. And early on, she can misread what people want from her, because she assumes some baseline of decency that simply is not there. That average charisma also explains why Lucy's best social moments aren't mind control moments. They're moments where she is honest, or where she offers something practical, or where she earns trust by following through. In a game, a level 5 charisma character can still pass speech checks, but it's not a guaranteed success. And it often requires the right context, the right timing, or the right leverage. Lucy isn't a smooth-talking con artist. She's just a normal person, learning how to navigate people who are used to lies, threats, and deals. Over time, that number could rise, not because she suddenly becomes fake, but because she learns how the wasteland hears words. Intelligence at level 6 is one of the most important parts of Lucy's survival, and the show shines a light on it multiple times. Fallout's take on intelligence is education, problem solving, and how quickly someone can understand systems. Lucy introduces herself early on by listing skills like repair, science, and speech, and those are extremely valuable foundations. It shows that she's trained in practical knowledge, not just the stuff you learn from books. It also matches her ability to handle technology and situations that would confuse most wastelanders. When she's faced with machines and locked-in problems, she doesn't freeze. She starts trying solutions. An above-average intelligence also fits her vault life in a deeper way. Vaults, at least on the surface, sell themselves as organized, engineered communities. Even the culture of a vault can push people towards structured learning and skills. Lucy comes from a world where training and preparation are normal, where you can have clubs, teams, and a whole routine built around self-improvement. That isn't something you see often in the wasteland, and while it doesn't protect her from violence, it does mean her brain is used to learning and used to applying knowledge. An intelligence level of 6 says she's not a genius scientist who rewrites the laws of physics, but she absolutely is smart enough to keep stacking advantages against her enemies. Agility at level 5 is another balanced stat, and it fits Lucy's situation almost perfectly. Agility in the games is considered coordination, reflexes, movement, and how cleanly someone handles combat under pressure. Lucy mentions being involved in activities like gymnastics and fencing, and those are very active hobbies. They imply strong body control, footwork, and comfort with precision. Even if she's not an elite wasteland acrobat, she's far from clumsy. She can move with intention. She can react swiftly. She can keep her head on straight while her body's in motion. And all of that works together to keep her safe in otherwise deadly situations. At the same time, an agility level of 5 also means that she's not yet the kind of character who dodges everything, and wins fights through pure speed. She still gets caught. She still gets hurt. She still makes mistakes. That feels right for Season 1 Lucy, because her arc isn't that of somebody who's already perfect. Her arc is being capable, then forced to become capable in a totally different way. In Fallout terms, she has enough agility to function in combat and danger, but she hasn't reached the point where she's dancing through bullets like a late-game build. Then there's luck at level 7, the other big stat next to perception. Luck in Fallout is the weirdest stat because it can be read two very different ways. Sometimes it is literal luck, crazy coincidences, getting the right item at the right time, surviving because the universe shrugged. Other times, it basically means that the build works out, where the character keeps getting chances to grow. Lucy's story has a lot of those moments where things could have ended, and instead, a narrow path to safety opens up out of nowhere. She meets people who become critical to her progress. She ends up in the right place to find the next lead. She gets out of traps that should have been final. But Lucy's luck isn't just random good fortune. It's also the luck of starting life in a vault where she was protected, educated, and given time to become a person before the wasteland tried to erase her. That alone is a massive advantage in Fallout's world. Most people never get that kind of unique opportunity. So when Lucy steps outside, plenty of bad does happen to her. Instead, she's lucky because she had a very strong foundation, and because even in the worst moments, she keeps finding the next step forward. Putting all of Lucy's numbers together, what shows up is a character who's built to be adaptable. She's not a glass cannon, she's not a heavy tank, she's not a social butterfly. She's a generalist with two clear peaks, perception and luck, and two supportive strengths, endurance and intelligence. That mix is the perfect early to mid-game Fallout protagonist build. The kind of character who can try anything, survive a mistake, and slowly shape into something more specialized as the story goes on. It also fits the feeling of the show, because Lucy often gets forced to do a little bit of everything to survive. She has to fight, negotiate, run, improvise, and learn, sometimes in the same day. It's worth noting that Lucy's stats add up cleanly here, because Fallout character creation usually has a fixed pool. In the modern Fallout games, builds are shaped by how those points get distributed, and Lucy's spread looks like someone who didn't worry about every little detail. That makes sense for her background. She didn't grow up planning to be a wasteland legend. She grew up planning to be a good vault citizen who could contribute. That produces balanced stats. The wasteland might eventually produce extremes, where a character becomes highly specialized, but Vault Life produces well-rounded competence. An extra layer of complexity is thinking about how those stats might change after Season 1. In Fallout, stats evolve over time. Characters gain perks, level up, and lean into whatever traits or skills the world rewards. Lucy's journey is already pushing her toward higher endurance, because she keeps taking damage and surviving day by day. It's also pushing her toward higher strength, because the wasteland forces you to carry your life on your back, and because physical struggle is never ending. Perception's already pretty high, so it might not rise much since that trait's already a deep part of her identity. Intelligence could rise too, because every new system she learns becomes another tool she can use later. Some fans have even done a detailed analysis where Lucy's actions are treated as Fallout quests, and they estimate that she levels up 6 times in Season 1. That kind of approach is obviously playful, but it lands on an idea that feels true regardless. Lucy's definitely not at character level 1 by the end of things. She's been through enough to become a different kind of person entirely. Even without a level up screen, the show treats her like someone who has gained experience, not just trauma. The point from this isn't an exact number. The point is that she's already stacking growth and becoming stronger. And that growth doesn't mean she becomes a completely different character. The best part of Lucy's build is that it supports her personality instead of replacing it. High perception and high luck work with her optimism in a way that makes it dangerous and useful at the same time. She notices things, she takes chances, and she keeps moving forward. Her intelligence supports her tendency to problem solve instead of surrender. Her endurance supports her refusal to stop, even when she's scared. Even her average charisma fits Because she doesn't win people over by being slick. She wins people over by being direct and persistent, and by slowly learning when kindness is strength and when it's a liability. So Lucy's special stats are clear. Strength 4, Perception 7, Endurance 6, Charisma 5, Intelligence 6, Agility 5, and Luck 7. But the more interesting part than the raw numbers is what those stats actually say about why she survives. Lucy isn't built to dominate the wasteland on day one. She's built to keep getting back up. She's built to notice the threat, take the shot, endure the hit, and figure out the next step. And in Fallout, that kind of build is often the most dangerous of all, because it doesn't look terrifying until it's already made it through things that should have ended it. By the time Season 2 wraps up, the same stat sheet could tell a wildly different story. Because stats are not just power, they're context. A level 4 in Strength in a Vault is just not very strong. That same level in the Wasteland, after weeks of brutal travel, injuries, and fights, becomes strong enough to thrive. A level 5 in Charisma inside a vault is average. A level 5 in Charisma outside, after learning how raiders, traders, and soldiers talk, becomes a weapon, because it's grounded in reality instead of sheltered manners. The Wasteland doesn't just reward high stats, it rewards the way a character uses the stats they already have. And that is why Lucy's special build feels so accurate to the show. It captures the balance between who she was raised to be and who she is being forced to become in the harsh wasteland. It explains why she doesn't always win cleanly, but also why she never stays down. It explains why she can look outmatched and still keep advancing the plot. Most importantly, it leaves room for the most Fallout part of her story, the idea that a character is never truly finished. A build is something that grows and evolves, and Lucy's build is only getting started. So that's where Lucy's at right now. But where do you think her stats will be in the future? Do you believe she'll keep getting smarter? Or will something happen to limit her progress, or even end her story for good? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see more Fallout content, click the video on screen now.